Hello everyone, my name is Idriss. I'm the founder and CEO of Idriss Publishing House, but first and foremost, I am an author. Today is day 18 of the writing challenge, not like 18-19, but it's day 18-19. I think I've done about just over 3,000 words of both days combined. I would like to talk to you about a few things that I've been thinking about and also quite worried about, and started to almost have anxiety about it, which is quite unorthodox for me because I usually just do work and it just flows out of me. But I guess because it's heading towards the end of the month now, it's like I want my book to be as good as it possibly can. So there's a few things I tend to worry about, like the ethics and methodology of my book. Like, am I getting out there enough? Am I doing enough hands-on research? Am I being involved within the community so that I can say I've actually done sufficient research? So there's a few things there. Other things like, is this book structured properly? Have I broken up my chapters sufficiently, or is it just like tossed in there, just like from my mind, just mind mapped into a book? So there's a few things that I think a lot of writers worry about it. I don't think it's just me. However, majority of writers, known writers anyway, would have previously set themselves a framework and stuck with that framework, regardless of the consequences and impacts of them. They would have made a blueprint and been like, this is the way I will do it until the day I'm put in my grave. Others tend to change, like, well, they don't change, but they will alter their the way in which they conduct their methodology and their ethics. But I think as a writer, you're always growing, and as your work grows, so does your perspective and views. So I find that to be really weird and interesting notion to think about. Another really interesting point is every essay that I've ever written, every piece of work, every article, every blog, every book, every note, I've always started with like the most important things, which is my ethics and my methodology, my method and my how to do my method. I think that's really important, which is why I'd never do work objectively. Like, a really good example of this would be, if you had to do work, you wouldn't do it as well as if you wanted to do work. That would be a very good example, which is why I'd always write my work subjectively, because then I know, like, the style, the narration, the tone is all me. It's not someone else. It's not some idea that's been picked up in some office that's got nothing to do with me or my work, although it tries to be. So it's about distinguishing those two. One thing that I've noticed over the past couple of years, my structuring has completely changed. The way I would structure an essay or my book has completely changed. Simply because I think that I've grown, and so is my authorship capabilities, is what I like to call it. So I think that's why my structuring changed, because even when I was at university, like, my lecturers just used to be like, I love your work, it's just the structure is terrible. I used to be like, okay, I'll work on it. And like, I've actually noticed over the past year, my structuring has completely changed. Now, there's a few things that could influence this. One could be that I drafted my own deadlines, so I don't feel like I'm obligated to complete a book at a certain time frame or anything. So, because I would have set it, even that extra push or pressure would have contributed to a higher quality of work instead of a rushed quality of work. That's one point. The second is that I probably grown, because like, I noticed that because I want to, again, subjectively, because I want to, I will go back over the books that I studied at university now and read them and see if I read them any differently, and if I learn anything, and like if I see a perspective that can reflect my work or my personal perspectives. So there's that idea. Another third, and I think this definitely is a contribution to my altered or growth of authorship capabilities, it would be that I have become I've always been a hardcore, strong, obligated Marxist. But recently, I've moved from Foucauldian ideologies to Nietzsche. I think that would have had a huge contribution to my text, because I believe that if Foucault himself was inspired by Nietzsche, then I think that's why I went so far back in time as well, to read good quality text that reflects us today. Because Nietzschean perspectives inspired Foucault, so I referenced it in order to see how that, and read it to understand how it could inspire me, and it has, absolutely amazingly, which is extremely exciting and quite shocking. Sometimes I can do work and surprise myself with the quality of content that I produce, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know you could do that. So I think those are the really most important things. That's my tips. It is day 19. And if you guys have any questions, you're welcome to ask me them. Visit my website at amalidriss.com, and my for my blogs and articles. Also visit a charity that I built, Burma's Orphans, where all donations go to Burma's orphans in order to support them for basic necessities. The website is also the description. And it is www.idrisspublishing.com. Thank you for your time, and I hope what I've told you is useful. Happy writings, Idriss Publishing House, invest to inspire. Thank you.